I want your calls on this. Should we stop weighing children at school? 0207 862 2222 is the number. Tell us what you think. A mum in Wales has started a petition to change the way the government approaches children's health after receiving a letter from her daughter's school saying that she's overweight based on a measurement of her BMI. Willow is 5 years old and trains in gymnastics twice a week, as well as doing swimming and dance. And I'm pleased to say Willow's mum, Natasha, joins us right now. How are you doing, Natasha?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Listen, I want to know more about Willow rather than just her weight. Tell us, what kind of a little girl is she?
Yeah, so she's obviously a very active little girl. She does activities 6 nights of the week: gymnastics, dancing, swimming, performing arts. She obviously has a well-balanced diet. Yeah, she's just really outgoing. She's just into everything. We're always out. And obviously to receive this letter stating that she's overweight solely from a BMI check is just absolutely demoralising.
Okay.
And they have no idea about Willow's lifestyle at all.
Okay. And were you aware that the weighing was taking place? Did the school let you know about the process?
Yes, so we did receive a link through a class chart stating that the school nursing team would be coming into the school to take the child's measurements and hearing and sight test.
Okay.
But there was no sort of background information. Obviously, I thought there might have been, questionnaires going out, more thorough research into like the child's lifestyle to really, find accurate figures.
So you get the letter. I mean, did you speak to Willow about this, or are you keeping this from her?
Yes, no. Willow doesn't know anything about this. All she said was that when she was in school that she's seen a nurse and they were seeing how healthy they were. So obviously some conversation happened, but no one mentioned weight.
Okay, and what do they say in addition to this judgment, if you like, this view that she's overweight? Do they give you advice, context, what to do next? What happens next in the process?
Okay, so they just send home a letter, and below it just provides a link saying, click this link to find out some more healthy tips on how to provide your child a healthy lifestyle. And obviously you can contact the school nursing team if you want to. Okay.
And presumably a lot of the stuff that you're being advised to do is exactly what you're doing already with Willow, which is a healthy, active lifestyle, good nutrition, all of that stuff.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And like I said, with the letter, so many parents will just chuck that letter in the bin and ignore it. Obviously, this is why this has sparked such a conversation for me, because the negative psychological impact this can have on children that are already leading a healthy lifestyle, the pressure on parents is so damaging for a child. And like I said, I'm not against children being weighed at all, but I feel this needs to be done more on a personal level. And I understand where they're saying that they do it as a whole to gather information on like the population of children of how they're growing. I completely understand that. But with this, because it's based solely on a BMI, everyone knows BMI is outdated. It doesn't take into account variations of body composition, muscle mass, or fat distribution. So they have no idea about the child's lifestyle. This is just solely done by a BMI check. It's bad enough for adults, never mind being a child.
Yeah, I mean,
how would you think a better way? Because the thing is, I do completely agree with you that it doesn't take into consideration other factors of lifestyle. And your little girl sounds amazing. Her lifestyle sounds fantastic. But then the government does have to look at the obesity crisis. It costs the UK 65 billion a year, and obesity in children is up from 9.2 to 9.6. So what would be your suggestion of an alternative way for them to tackle obesity from a younger age?
Obviously, it's a very controversial subject, so it's really difficult. But I feel personally this should be done more on a personal level if they really want to get accurate figures. So instead of just sending out a letter with just a link on for you to click, they should be referring these children to GPs and referring them obviously to weight management programs, because obviously BMI really only takes effect if you're morbidly obese or severely underweight.
That's the problem,
like,
is that you
instead
can
of, like-
see. I've seen footage of your lovely girl, and she clearly isn't overweight. She's clearly very sporty, very active, etc. So it's that little bit of common sense. But and also the BMI thing is utterly misleading.
Well, you can see why it would work for a country, maybe, but not necessarily on the individual level. Listen, Natasha, we're going to leave you and say thank you, and please give Willow our love, but you don't have to tell her why. So the very best to you all. But we're going to take some callers now. Janet is in the West Midlands. Do you think school is the right place to weigh children, to understand where they're going in their health journey, if you like?
Yeah, I think it's got to start somewhere because, like I say, that little girl, she's not overweight. But my grandson is definitely overweight. And something needs to be done. It's got to be picked up somewhere. Like I say, it probably needs to be done on a more personal level. But he's going to be, when he's older, he's going to be massive. He's going to be big. He's going to have diabetes. Something needs to be picked up while they're at school now, because once they leave school, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, so obviously, like, as Lin Mei said, there is a crisis. You know, we have an obesity crisis, and like understanding the way kids are behaving, eating, exercising, the rest of it is going to get me
all day, sitting on the tablets all day. The kids don't play out anymore. They don't get any exercise.
But do you think, Janet, if parents instinctively know, as Natasha does, if they instinctively know whether their kid is healthy, living a healthy lifestyle or not, there's no harm in it, because they'll look at the letter and they'll say, well, they've clearly got this wrong.
I don't know. I just think it's hard for the parents to tell the child they're overweight. Perhaps it needs to come from somebody starting probably at the school where the children do listen to the teachers, and perhaps it can be done through the school. I don't know what way, but something needs to be done. I know you're going to blame the parents, but it's hard for a parent to single out one child and say, you're overweight. And it is hard for the parent, I understand that. And perhaps it's better done through another source and do it that way.
Janet, I know you don't want to blame the parents, but could you, rather than saying you're overweight, is it not like, right, we're going to go to the park and like grab a football and do some activity?
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, they do go to the park, but I just think there's got to be another. That ain't going to be enough, is it? He's not going to lose his weight by just going to the park. It's not going to happen.
I wonder whether we just need the whole picture or nothing. BMI is not the answer necessarily, because it's such a blunt tool. Kim's in Norfolk. Thank you, Janet. Kim's in Norfolk. What do you reckon? Should we be weighing kids at school or not?
No, definitely not. As a lady in my later 50s, at school, I was weighed at the age of 10 or 11, and the anxiety of worrying about all my classmates knowing what I was going to weigh was huge. And I've actually remembered the negative experience of that for all of my life. I mean, it doesn't impact me, but it's not a nice thing.
Is it too far to say? Is it going too far to say that it could contribute to eating disorders further down the line, that concern about your weight so early on?
Possibly, yes. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think that obesity is a really important issue in children, but I feel that school is just not the place. I mean, it's a medical issue, and possibly the parents, if they felt their child was overweight, they could subtly adjust their food intake. You know, there's other ways of dealing with it, not school.
Oh, the problem is parents are not dealing with it. So I agree that schools are not the ones to completely be the first and foremost to suggest your child is overweight. But I do think it's important, as your child is more likely to spend more time at school, they need to work with the parents collectively to try and get a hold of the obesity situation before it gets out of hand. But the problem is parents also sometimes don't want to admit or accept that their children are overweight.
I think parents have it very difficult trying to get that balance between, you know, healthy lifestyle and overly conscious of food as well at such an early age. Really tricky. Thank you to Kim. Thanks for all your calls on this.